I found a kid's book that makes you happy forever. It is just a kid's book, a title spelled in rainbow blocks, thick pages. Almost a baby book, really. The recommended age is 3 to 5. Zoe and I found it in a dusty box in the storage room at Colvin Preparatory School. Mrs. Lemon, the owner, tries to make us feel better by calling us after-school teachers. But we are babysitters. The most teaching we do is to remind the kids not to pick their noses during snack time. Our real job is to keep the kids safe and at least somewhat entertained while their doctor and lawyer parents make the money to pay the tuition. The work isn't glamorous or interesting, but for a part-time job, the pay is good. Private school and all. There were only a handful of kids today. Mrs. Lemon said that it was a popular week for vacations. Seeking to make the most of her money, Mrs. Lemon assigned me and Zoe to clean out the storage closet while she watched the children. We weren't sorry. Cleaning out the closet was easier than watching the kids. The hardest part was not choking on the dust. Even in the dark closet, we could see the thick gray blankets of dust on the cluttered shelves. "Can you turn the light on, Hooper?" Zoe asked. I flicked the switch. Nothing happened. "Hooper?" "Sorry, I did." I looked up to see an empty socket. "Well, damn." I gave Zoe a nervous look. "Don't say that. Mrs. Lemon might hear you. Zoe is the best part of the job, and I don't want to get her fired." Shit, that's right. I wouldn't want to lose this chance of a lifetime. I tried not to let her see my dopey grin. We better get started. I ripped open a box. Its cardboard was soft with age. Manila folders filled with what looked like old personal records. Box of junk here. I looked back to see Zoe playing on her phone. I coughed to encourage her to get to work. "What about you?" She sighed and started to tear open the box closest to her. It was a smaller box, about the shape of a pizza box. It sat crooked on a bigger box like someone had thrown it in the closet in a hurry. "Well, let's see." She tossed a strip of the cardboard into the shadows and pulled out a book. From the fluorescent light in the hallway behind us, I could just see its cover. It showed a papier-mâché sun behind a platinum blonde girl smiling in a pink dress. Or it was supposed to be a girl. Walking over to Zoe to look at the book more closely, I saw that it was actually a grown woman. She looked like a girl because she had sharp circles of blush on her cheeks and stone-stiff pigtails on her shoulders. Her toothy smile looked like it hurt. "What the hell?" I asked. Zoe didn't seem to notice how wrong the book was. She laughed at it like it was a tacky knick-knack. "Oh man, how long do you think this has been here? It's probably older than Mrs. Lemon." Put it down. Let's get back to work." Hold on. We have to read it." She sat down on a box and gestured for me to sit in front of her. I sat. I've never been able to tell a girl no. "Okay, quick." Zoe started to read like she was back in the classroom trying to calm down a mob of kids. She turned the cover towards me with a dramatic flare. I looked away. The woman's smile was too bright. "The National Television Network presents Sunny Sandy." I should have ripped the book from her hands right then. "Meet Sunny Sandy. Sunny Sandy lives in Sunnyside Square, where the sun can never stop shining. Sunny Sandy is a good girl. She is always sunny. She is never sad, or angry, or tired, or hungry, or scared. That would be bad. Sunny Sandy is a good girl. She is always sunny. Always." By the time Zoe read always, the hairs on my neck were standing straight. I breathed a sigh of relief when she closed the book. I expected to see her sharing my fear, or, knowing Zoe, maybe roll her eyes. I did not expect her to smile. "How precious!" she cooed. "Wasn't that precious?" Her eyes were harsh rays of sun beating down on me. I stood up to escape the heat. "Not particularly. Let's get back to work." I went to take the book from her. She held it tight. "Now, don't be silly, Hooper. We're gonna read it again." She took my hand and tried to drag me back to the ground in front of her. The iron of her smile matched the iron of her grip. "Like hell!" I snatched the book from her. When she tried to hold on to it, she fell backwards over the box she had been sitting on. In the cramped closet, there wasn't enough space between her head and the wooden shelf. Her head cracked on one of the crossbeams on her way down. I dropped the book and rushed over to her. She was lying in a slump between the box and the shelf. Her arms and legs were stuck up like she was an insect on its back. Blood rushed from the crack on the back of her head. I couldn't see the wound, but its red pool told me it had to be deep. Through all that, she held her smile. "Come on," I shouted. I lifted her into my arms. "We have to get you to the hospital." Her voice was very calm. "Thank you, Hooper. That's very kind of you." I took her to Mrs. Lemon, who drove her to the hospital. Between the crack in the wood and when I laid her in the passenger seat of Mrs. Lemon's pickup truck, Zoe never stopped beaming. I watched the kids until their parents came for them. I played pretend with them to stop my mind from imagining what might be happening to Zoe. I didn't want to go home at the end of the day. I still hadn't heard anything, and I wasn't ready to be alone with my thoughts. Procrastinating, I went back to the storage closet. Standing in the hallway light, I saw the woman smiling up at me. I thought back to what Zoe had said. "We're gonna read it again." This book had broken my friend, but how? It was just a kid's book. I opened it. The first few pages were as boring as any other kid's book from the 90s. Pictures of the woman walking through a cartoon town square, and then down a brick main street. Then they turned wrong. On the page with the words, "She is never sad," the woman stood over a striped cat with a collar that said Mr. Tiger. The cat was dead. Another picture showed her sitting in a country church pew beside a woman dressed in black. In another, she sat in a closet smaller than the storage closet around me. It looked like she had not bathed or been outside in days. On the last page, the one with the words, "She is always sunny, always," the woman was lying in a coffin. She still wore pigtails in her hair, but she still smiled. The same smile I had seen on Zoe's bloody face. I feel like Sunny Sandy is inside me now. She's watching me to see if I behave. I'm not sure how long she'll let me write freely, so I wanted to post this here where I know people will see it. I wish I was fighting back tears or a scream, but if you were looking at me, you'd think I was reading a love letter from Zoe. I look peaceful. I'm scared. Very scared. Happy Hooper is a good boy. He is always happy. Always. So that is the end of the story. I found a kid's book that makes you happy forever. And as always, all credit goes to the authors of these stories, and I will have everything linked down below in the description so that way you can read it for yourself or comment along with the original poster. After seeing what had happened to his friend after reading this book, I don't know why he would like open it up and read it again. Although at the same time, I probably would have been curious too, because that's very unusual of a thing to do. But I am curious to know what your guys' thoughts and opinions are on this story, and if you've experienced anything paranormal or anything unexplainable, comment it down below because I would love to read it. My name is Natalie, and I will see you guys in the next video. Particularly.